But
I was like, really?
yeah, it's Bellator 224, Bud versus Rubin. So there's some interesting names on the prelims. Bruna Ellen is a women's flyweight fighter. She's facing Elena Karayandu. We have Arlene Blenkow, who is a former title challenger against Amanda Bell, the old horsewoman killer. You have a women's featherweight fight. How about this one, Joe? Leslie Smith in action against Sinead Kavanaugh. That's not a bad fight.
That's a good fight, yeah.
I don't hate that fight at all. Does any of that stand out to you? Because, to be honest with you, anybody who wins on one of these shows, including Gabrielle Varga in her pro debut against Jameis Taylor, anybody who wins on this prelim show could just automatically get a title shot. It ain't that hard in Bellator.
No, it's depth of any featherweight division, right? So it's, I mean, Olga Rubin competing for the title once, but you're bang on. I mean, Leslie Smith is 1 win away, right? I mean, in my opinion, she takes out Sinead on this prelim card, title shot. That's what it is right now. It's the division itself, and it's split between 2 promotions, really. Well, I guess you have Invicta, technically. But yeah, there's not much depth at 145 pounds for the ladies. So Julia Budd just has to win and, keep getting paid.
So this show, the prelims don't have a lot else worth watching. It just not there. Just not there. But the main card, not bad. Ed Ruth against Kunimoto. I like that fight too. You put Ed Ruth in there, who's got 7 fights now, so he's not an experienced guy, against a guy with 30 fights. See how he does. He stuttered a little bit, but I think that Bellator does, in most cases, pretty well in bringing their prospects along, Joe. There are some that they brought along too quick, like Aaron Pico, but he's shown flashes that he belongs. What do you see as a ceiling for Ed Ruth right now?
Keep going, man. Keep going. I mean, you take a Kunimoto, that's impressive, man. Let's just continue to do it. I don't know, when you think about what
you're cutting out. You're cutting out a little bit, Joe. So you're cutting out a little bit. So I'll preview the rest of the stuff. Juliana Vasquez, that's the name I'm looking to. If she gets a win against Christina Williams, she's probably getting that title shot. But if Christina Williams wins, the former Heather Hardy Slayer, over an 8-0 fighter, she's probably getting the win. You also have Rafael Carvalho, Chidi Njokuani. Bellator has a real boner for Chidi Njokuani. Like, they love him. What stands out to you on this very abbreviated Bellator main card?
Ed Ruth in the Kunimoto fight. I really like that fight. I want to see how that goes down at 170 pounds. Should be fun. Carvalho and Chidi. It's a fun fight. You got to be a hardcore MMA fan to watch that. So I'm sure it'll give us some enjoyment, and not as what we would probably envisioned if these two were matched up a year or two ago. But the first fight on that main card has got me interested big time.
Main event, Julia Budd in action, defending her title against Olga Rubin, the undefeated Olga Rubin, who nobody watching this show has heard of. Ever. I mean, maybe if you watch Bellator religiously, you have, but she's 3-0. She beat Sandy Dandois. She's the next victim in my estimation. Do you think that she stands a chance against Julia Budd?
We've seen Julia Budd put on performances that have raised our own eyebrows and be like, what are you doing? With Lance Gibson just reaming her in the corner saying, you need to pick up the pace. So on paper, Julia Budd wins this fight. No ifs, ands, or buts. But it depends on which Julia Budd shows up, in my opinion, right? Because she should be able to take out Olga Rubin. I know Olga's fought for Bellator, 3 times already? 4 times, excuse me. She's been fighting since 2016, undefeated. Maybe it's something we haven't paid attention to, Sean. Maybe she's just that good that she can take out Julia Budd. I doubt it, but there's a lot of questions. There's more questions than answers heading into this fight. So let the ladies compete. Let them go at each other. But in my opinion, it all depends on which Julia Budd shows up.